All right, so welcome to the session 6 of Azure AI Weekend series, right? So in this session, we're going to, go through what are all the Azure OpenAI models, the GPT models in the session. And we are going to make sense what is prompt engineering and what are all the techniques to, manipulate and handle the GPT models. So here I'm Jaysura SM. I'm a data analyst at Product Technologist, Microsoft certified AI engineer and global AI bootcamp speaker, right? So here you can see the QR code, under my photo. So you can scan it and we can chat and we can connect through LinkedIn, right? So let's start the session. So here, this is the agenda and objectives of today's session. So let me set up the expectations of today's session. So first, we are going to make sense what is, Azure OpenAI and what are all the GPT models, and we are having, the deep dive sessions and what are all the prompt engineering basics and how to create a Q&A bot by using the Copilot Studio. And we have the demo as well. And at the end, we'll be having a Q&A sessions, right? So why, generative AI? So these generative AI which transform the industries with the automation and creativity, right? So generative AI, we have two AIs, which is nothing but agentic AI and AI agents. So this agentic AI, which, it's nothing but you will be giving the task, you will be giving the particular task to do it. And those tasks will be done, only those tasks will be done by the AI models. So that is nothing but it's an agentic AI. But this AI agents, what they will do is that it will, suggest you many more things. Is it will suggest you many best opinions, many best opportunities, and other alternatives. And it will ask for the another opinion that something like if you're asking anything about study related things, then it will clarify and it will connect you the another dot which is not the question that you asked, right? So that is nothing but it's an AI agents, and this enterprises, adopting the AI for the productivity, and the market trends towards the AI and Copilot and assistants are, drastically improving. AI on Azure. So this AI, Azure AI services, we have this overview. The positioning Azure OpenAI within Microsoft ecosystem. Recently, 2 years before Azure have, collaborated with OpenAI, and this integration with cognitive services, data, and apps, which is, being a vital role in Azure AI. What is Azure OpenAI services? So this Azure OpenAI services, which access to OpenAI's powerful model via Azure Cloud. Okay, so this enterprise-ready security and compliance system, which is very helpful for the developers and who wants to make the solutions through the applications, which is very essential to them. And it is very easy to integrate via API. So these are all the most core capabilities of Azure OpenAI. So first thing is that the natural language processing. So it's not necessary that you need to be a developer to develop a code, or you can develop the code by using the natural language processing, and you can generate the code, and you can create the assistance, and you can ask the reasoning, and you can use it for the problem solving as well. And these multimodal abilities, like they can create images, they can create text, they can create the code, and they can create the video as well. These enterprise benefits. So these are the at the maximum that Microsoft Azure, they will be assuring that they have the robust security system and compliance. And so they have their own scalability so that the accountability will be maintained, and they will be assuring that, okay, so this much resources you have used, so this much of the amount you need to pay. So the pay as you go service will be get maintained. And this reliability with the Azure infrastructure, you can, Uh, these data will not be used for the training models. So your data is your data. And here we have the popular use cases. First, we can use Azure OpenAI to build the chatbot and virtual assistants. And you can build your application for, summarizing and translating the scripts. And here you can use the code for the copilots, right? So you can build your copilot, which can be, no code and low code platforms. And you can build your own knowledge assistants, right? So here we have the GPT evolution timeline. So GPT, where it is getting evolved, and simply speaking, it is in version systems, version control. It's in versions, changes of a particular GPT model. So the first we have the GPT-3, which uh, primarily built on the top of for the text generation, and GPT 3.5, which is mainly used for the simply speaking as an AI agents, and and this GPT-4, which the model brings up the more clarity and accurate answers what we ask, and the just GPT-4.0, which bring you up with an updated version of the GPT-4 with the image generation, and this increasing capabilities and efficiency, which will bring you up the more accurate answers and the most precise answer that you are expecting, right? And this multimodal advancements, which will create you the more robust, the automation flows. So you can, do the repetitive task by using this models, right? So here we have the capabilities of GPT models. So these GPT models, first thing is that advanced reasoning. So comparing to human, obviously, human will have the uh, uh, always the human brain is the supremacy. But when it comes to the GPT model, it's advanced reasoning. It's it's beyond the limit. And this creativity and its ideation, if you ask for any of the ideations to start your business, right? So it will tell you that, okay, these are all the niche problem, and these are all the problems that you need to focus and you need to build up, right? So it will create your own ideations, and it will stimulate your creativity, and it is a multilingual support, so you can access in any languages throughout the world, and this context understanding. So if you made a typo also, it will bring you up the most precise results by understanding your context, what all the things that you need to convey, or else like it if the context is very blurred or very unclear, it will ask you the another question that hey, uh, okay, what are all the things that you need to bring up, right? So Azure versus OpenAI.com. So this Azure AI, which is an enterprise security and which contains an integration and the compliance of a many GPT models, and this OpenAI.com, which contains the consumer oriented. And the Azure allows the private deployment, which is especially for the business enterprises, and they need to secure their own data, right? So that's why Azure allows the private deployment, which is not, used for the private. No, sorry, Azure will not use the data to train their own model, but we cannot say in Azure OpenAI.com. Sorry, not Azure OpenAI.com, right? OpenAI.com might, you know, they can use their data to train their model, right? So there will not be any security or integration or any signups, right? In OpenAI, but in Azure OpenAI, we will have the enterprise security and integration and compliance. Model selection guide. So, what model needs to be selected at the right time, right? So, this is the very crucial step. So, this GPT 3.5, which is a lightweight and the cost efficient, and GPT-4, which is bring you up the advanced reasoning and accuracy. And here we have the GPT-4o, which is a multimodal and optimized for the efficiency. So it's very much essential to pick up the most accurate model, most what model will be get used at what time, right? So you can use for if you are a beginner, you can use the GPT 3.5, and if you are building any enterprise applications, you can use GPT 4, but it costs higher, right? Comparing to GPT 3.5 and 4. Introduction to Studio. So the Studio, the Copilot Studio, which is nothing but it's a playground for experimenting with the prompts and deployment changes managements, and it can use the we can use the content filtering in Studio, and we can monitor their the movements and the activities. So hands-on features. So the chat and completions. These chat and completions, which will useful for the completing the chat. So the text generation is another thing, but the chat completion, which is another role that plays by the GPT models, right? So this GPT models which will bring you up, it's like a friend, right? If you're chatting with your friend, it's like a chatting with your friend. But when it comes to the text generation, it will complete the task what you have asked for, right? But this chat and completions will not be like that. It will ask the questions, it will counter the questions, and it will answer, and it will bring you up more conversations in the chat, and embeddings for the semantic search. So this embeddings, which is nothing but we'll be converting all the words, all the sentences into numbers. That is called as vectors. So the set of the vectors will be calling it as embeddings. So you know why we are converting those words into embeddings. Why? Because the computer obviously knows only the numbers, right? They can understand only the numbers and binary digits. So that's why we are just converting all the words into embeddings. And for semantic search is nothing but we'll be identifying the relationship between the words, the previous word in a sentence. So let's say cat sat on the mat. So how does the machine knows that okay, the sat word should come after the cat. So the cat sat on the mat, right? Simply speaking, how this AI agents or the GPT models knows. So by using this semantic search, they can able to identify, okay, this is the most probable related keyword that we need to continue with the previous word. So fine tuning and evaluation. So this fine tuning models, right? We can able to fine tune the models, and we can assess the performances of the models, and we can put an evaluation, right? How the model is performing. Deployment life cycle. So monitor, we can access for the request, and we can deploy the model, and we can test it and optimize it, and we can monitor the usage of the models, right? So what is prompt engineering? So this is an important, feature. This is an important concept that for this today's session, right? The first thing is that crafting the input for the better model outputs, right? So it is very much essential that to putting it on the words to the models that explaining what all the needs that you need to complete it, right? So then only that the model can understand, okay, what is the current requirement of yours. If you have it in mind but you're not expressing it, the model could not understand, and it will bring you up the more irrelevant answers, right? So the key to achieving accurate and useful results. And say, for example, we have the difference between bad versus good prompts. Let's see that. So here we have the prompting techniques. So this is the first thing is that zero shot prompt. The zero shot prompts, which is nothing but it's an we are giving the model without any examples, right? So we are just giving it on a plane. Let's say I need the assignment that to be done. Okay, you didn't explain what are the assignments, right? So this is the first technique, which is nothing but it's in a zero shot prompt. That here we have the few shot prompt. where you will be explaining, where we will be giving a few examples to complete the task. And here we have the chain of thought prompts. And here we will be converting, we'll be, like conveying the GPT models without some of the examples, and will be, conveying through the chain of thought. Okay, this is the thought of yours. Okay, if you're stuck anywhere in your syllabus while studying an exam, right? Say for example, you got stuck in aerodynamics, you know uh, aerodynamics concept. So you're just saying that, okay, this aerodynamics, which is nothing but it will be used for the aerospace, and this is my thought. Okay, just brief it and explain it in a layman view, and it will say you that, yeah, it's obviously right. Aerodynamics is which is related to the aerospace, and it is moreover used in aeronautics engineering as well, and it will bring you up the most chain of thought, right? And the role based prompting. So this role based prompting, which will bring you up the more clarity. So what you will be doing is that you will be training the model that, okay, so you are an engineer, you are a mathematical engineer, so I need you to teach uh, the linear algebra, right? So we are just assigning a few role to the GPT model. Okay, this role you need to be played, right? Okay, you are a doctor, so just suggest me some of the medicines that when I when I got flu, or when I got fever or something. And you can ask as an advocate, just to suggest me some of the sections that which is regarding to the Indian Penal Code, right? Or some of the yeah, Indian Contract Act. So if you give the use case, it will bring you up the more results, right? Prompt best practices. So these are all the best practices that you need to follow while prompting. The first thing is that be clear and specific, and don't confuse the GPT models. If you are confusing it, it will confuse you, obviously, and provide the context more clear, right? Just don't be vague or be unclear. You should be providing with the context, and it is more advisable to give you the examples of the current scenarios and use constraints and formatting, right? The model should not be act beyond the limit, right? While giving the prompt, it is more essential that that the GPT model should not act beyond the limit, and iterate and refine it. Okay, here, the best practice coming into the picture, which is nothing but it's an iterate and refine. So this iteration part, where we will be training the GPT model according to our aspects, or no, uh, our taste and preferences, right? So here we have the architecture for Q&A bot with Azure OpenAI, AI search, app service, and enterprise security. So this is the most, impressive solution architecture diagram, which was designed by Microsoft people, right? So the first thing is that we will be sending you the request. We'll be sending you the request through the bot services, and the second thing we'll be authenticating. Okay, these are all the persons that we need to get get in, and these token keys will be given to the bot services. And what are the query that you have asked, that will be understanding by using the natural the language understandings. Okay, and after that, using this bot cognition and intelligence, these, uh, by using these applications, your result will be get set. And after this, checking with the bot logic, and you will be tracking down what all the conversation that you have made, right? And those logs will be sending it to the monitoring and reporting. So here we will be having some of the tools that we'll be using it for the reporting and analyzing it. Say, for example, we have Power BI, right? And it will be sending it to the email to the DevOps manager, right? And after that, these responses will be sending it to you, right? So this all activities will be happening in a fraction of second, right? Not even a millisecond, right? So, say for example, if you have the data, if you have stored the data in any of the the any of the storage endpoints, so from that storage you can able to access those raw data, what are all the structured or unstructured data that you have stored, right? It can be the FAQs or the PDFs or the related documents that what you people are going to prepare for the exams and all. So if you are storing it on the the storage endpoints, so from those storages, you can able to access those PDF and you can chat with those PDF. Step by step bot creation. So the first thing is that to connect to the data source. So what data source that you're going to use and what are all the deployment, the Azure OpenAI models that you're going to use. So you can use the GPT-4, GPT-4 mini, GPT 3.5, GPT, obviously here we have the new GPT models, GPT-5, right? And integrate with the applications that you need and test it and refine it again and again. So here we have the demo use case, the company policy Q&A bot. So this is the most critical thing. What all the company policies? What the the each and company will have, right? Say for example, I came from Prudent Technologies. So someone who came from the the third party who coming from the away from the company, they might not know that what is the company policy. As a the employee, I might know that what is the company policy of Prudent, but the company the third party of the company, they might not know that what is the company policy. So if you set up a Q&A bot, okay, uh, as an you can ask that as an newer to the company, you can ask the model that what are all the company policies that we need to follow getting into product, right? So it will bring you up what are all the company policies that you need to follow. And here we have the user query structure, right? So first you will be questioning it, and these cognitive search will be get happened, and it will sending it to the GPT model. And after reaching the LLM, you will be getting the response. Scaling Q&A bot. So this, Q&A bot, which has a multilingual support and multilingual, multi-user concurrency and enterprise integration and scaling. So what are the key takeaways for the sessions? So here we have understood that what are all the Azure OpenAI, what Azure OpenAI provides the secure access to the GPT models, and what is the prompt engineering which is critical for the effective AI use, and what is Q&A bot are which will create a simple but powerful applications, and the scalability and applications compliance and which are ensured with Azure. So next steps and the resources, right? So we will be exploring what all the what is Azure OpenAI Studio is, and I will be sending you the Microsoft Learning resources, in the description or in a group, right? And the documentation and the tutorials I will be sending you with, as in video, right? And I have sent you the the community channels, right? The Azure AI, we can say it is community channels, right? Please join that. Okay. So here I have the the Q&A poll is open to all. If you have any questions, just raise up your hands and shoot your questions. All right, I will take it as no. Right. Okay. I will send you the feedback link after the session just to fill those feedback forms. Right. And before closing the sessions, we'll be having a demo, and we can see how to create a Q&A chatbot. Right. So let's go to yeah. Yeah, we'll add it up. So this is Copilot Studio. So this Copilot, by using this Copilot Studio, we can create your own chatbot applications, right? By, without knowing the code, for creating this chatbot, you don't need to be a developer or, the code, uh, to expertise in code. If you are, understanding with the business knowledges, it is more than enough to create a chatbot by using this agent, right? So let's say to create a chatbot. So here I'm just going to create a chatbot. It is going to be in a website Q&A, right? So let's say to create it. So I'm going to create a chatbot for, say for example, we'll be creating it for DP 700 examination, which is for, uh, especially for fabric engineers, fabric data engineers. So let's say to create our TP700 chatbot. So here you can change those icons. Okay, let's search for the icon TP700 logo, right? So this is the logo. Let me download it in local, right? Right. So let's go here and change this icon. I think we need to check with the save as. Let me download it again. Yeah, it's in PNG. All right. So let's go to the Copilot Studio and change this icon. So let's click it. All right. So here we have changed it, right? So here we have set it up the icon and let's set up the description. So this is in default description that is saying that an agent that can answer common questions from the user using the context of your website. So let me change this, right? So this is an agent we prepared especially for preparing TP 700 examination, right? And here we can, set up some of the instructions, right? So it is a default instruction, maintain a polite and professional tone while assisting with questions about the knowledge sources, right? So here we have the knowledge base. So in this knowledge base, we can, include the knowledges. We can add up the PDF that we want, and we can chat on that, right? So here I have, all right. Okay, we can, we can upload this PDF after creating it, let's say to create, and we can add the knowledge base later on. All right. So here we landed up. You can see the test your agent pan, right? So in this pan, you can able to edit what are all the things that you need to, we can test the potentiality of the chatbot, right? So it is saying that it's an a DP700 chatbot, right? And here you can see the knowledge base. So in this knowledge base, you can add up what all the knowledge that you need, and what all the things uh, that you need to upload. So here I have the DP700 preparations. So in this, I'm just going to select DP700 nodes, right? Let's say add to agent. So it is taking at least it will take at least 2 minutes of time to add any of the knowledge bases, any of the knowledge to the knowledge base. So let's wait for some time to get low, right? Right. Okay. In the meantime, let us see what all the features that Copilot Studio has. Right. So here we have the tools where you can add up the tools that what you're going to integrate the external applications like Excel, and if you wanted to use the trigger points, and if you wanted to use the connectors to update or giving you the automations. So you can use these features, and you can use the Power Automate to automate the workflows. And here you can use the agents like what all the agents that are in the existence that what we have created, right? So if you wanted to create an agent, the new agent, you can create it. But if you have an existing agent, you can collaborate with the existing agents. And here we have the collaboration with the Fabric, you know, the data agents from the Microsoft Fabric. So it's in a preview version, and you can have the topics. So this topic, what these topics will do. So these topics, which will used for the triggers. So if you say goodbye, if you start over the conversation, it will give you the if you start with the greetings. So let's say start with hello, right? So it will ask you the question that hello, how can I help you? So if you go to the greeting, right? So if you go to the greeting, if you say hello, it will ask you hello, how can I help you? The same question that what it has asked. So you can ask, you can just change over. How can I help you to prepare TP 700, right? So let's save it, right? Let's save this. And here we can, refresh this. So if you ask hello, it will, bring you up the conversation flow. Hello, how can I help you to prepare TP 700? Cool, right? So likewise, we can, create a chain of, the conversations. And if the user asks this conversation, you can, ask the, you can, raise up the counter questions as such. So this is the start over, and this is the greeting. And if you wanted to create a topic regarding this DP700, you can create your own, the topic that you wanted to create. So you can name your topic that, say for example, let me say some 100 questions, right? So let me say, we can create a topic, we can create a conversation flow by using the chat, right? It's all, completely working on under the basis of a natural language processing. So what we are going to do is that we are using the Copilot to create a Copilot, right? Cool, right? So here, what we are going to do is that we are going to implement, or we are going to, giving some context to create the topic. So here, let the user ask about the DP700 related questions. Simple, right? Easy to create. So here it is saying that, okay, DP700 questions. Okay, what is your DP700 related questions? Right, if you can see this. So it is asking that, okay, after asking the questions, it will drop you the message. Thank you for your question about DP700, right? So let's save it. And let's check whether this knowledge base have been added or not. It's still loading, right? Let's say to refresh. All right. So if you wanted to, include, or if you wanted to integrate the chatbot that what you are designing, right? You can add in your own channels. So for example, if you have your own web application, you'll be having this iframe link. So by using this iframe link, you can, copy the string and you can add it, right? If you're using it is, developer friendly for Python, JavaScript, or .NET or C Sharp, right? And you can have the demo website also. And here it's an, raising up the concern that, okay, it's all about the security, right? So if we wanted to release the security, let's go to settings and let's go to settings and go to security, go to authentication, and let's say no auth. So it is publicly, available in any of the channels. So it's okay. And let's go to the agents that what we're going to prepare. Let's go to knowledge base. It's still under the process, right? So in the meantime, what we can do is that we can create the conversations, right? We can go to the topic and let's say for start over, let's say to start over, right? So this is the start over where, it will, start the conversation. So if you go to this, so this is the trigger. This is the starting trigger. Without any of the messages that we are going to use as a query, before that it will be used as a pop-up. So it is. I feel this is an bit lengthy. What I will be doing is that instead of hello, I'm your website Q&A copilot. Please ensure the knowledge source on the left is pointing up. Okay. So these are all the unwanted questions. So, these are the unwanted queries. So let me say that hello. I am your DP700 rep Copilot. What okay, shoot your questions and get clarified. And I'm saying that happy learning, right? So let's save it, right? And after saving it, if you refresh the test your agents, here it will, pop up the message. Hello, I am DP700 Pep Copilot. Shoot your questions and get clarified. Happy learning. Right. Makes sense. So let's go to knowledge base. It is still, adding the knowledge base. I think it's a, quite big, it's about, let me add a new knowledge base. It's under 200 KB. So let's see how the demo website works, right? So let's say to click the demo website. And here you will be having this share a website link. So let's say to copy it, right? And just paste it on this search bar. So here, this is your chatbot now, which will after it will be ready after the knowledge base uploaded, right? Still that it will be raising you up some of the errors, right? So after that, you can have your own chatbot at your demo website. So let me delete this. And what you can add is that you can add the public websites. So let me go to DP700 MS Learn. So let's say to click on this copy link. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create a knowledge base for by using this public websites. So here we'll be having this public websites. So let's say to click and enter the link, just copy, paste it. I think paste it. Okay. I need to go for the another URL. Yeah, here we have it. So it will second paste to this because it is not taking that the secondary the tool level data. Let me test this on the URL where it is going to the proper, yeah, it's not going. So what we can do, let's say to go to the certifications, right? Let's try this. So here we say to add the agents. So here we added it, right? So let's ask what is TP 900, DP 700, right? What is TP 700? So yeah, let me ask this. We have raised up a question, right? DP 700. Okay. So it's a manipulation that what we have done for the testing, right? So let's ask it again, what is TP 700? Okay, let's delete this topic, right? Let's enable this, disable this, and we can try it again. And Let's start with hi. What is TP700? So here we got the answer that TP700 it's a certification exam titled Implementing Data Engineering Solutions by Using Microsoft Fabric. So that's cool. So here we got the answer with the references links. So if you go to the reference link, it will bring you up the total article where this information got retrieved, right? Sounds good. So this is all about today's sessions, and just stick with the next updates and join the community forum that what I have created. I'll be giving you the link for that. So that join with the channels and get updated for the next updations. And thanks for joining the sessions. See you on the next sessions. Bye. Thank you.